Hey guys, welcome to the Evolve Weekly. Today we're going to review and discuss our latest remote technology, the R2. We first started to design this new remote back around the same time when we launched the Bamboo GT series. So it's taken us about 18 months to go from design concept to a fully finished product. This has been one of the most challenging projects that we've done to date at Evolve Skateboards, and you wouldn't think so for being such a small part. The key things to think about here is because there's so many variables to consider when designing a remote that is easy to use. Not only did we need the remote to look good, it also needed to fit and feel in the hand as good as it possibly could. So one of the biggest changes we've made to our new RT remote compared to our existing GT remote is the fact that we've split the acceleration and brake triggers. We've also adjusted the acceleration and brake curves, which gives the rider a much greater control over their braking and accelerating functions. And in fact, it's probably 3 or 4 times longer than our previous GT remote. We've incorporated a safety and deadman switch, which is actually programmable, which means that it won't work unless you push the deadman switch in first. But if you don't like to ride like that and you get annoyed by pushing that in all the time, you can just get into the preferences screen and turn it off. The LCD screen placement has been adjusted to now on top of the remote, which makes it easy to see when you're holding it. And the screen is much clearer, it's a better quality, and it contains all the latest firmware, including the latest 107mm wheel setting. We've included a new function in the R2 remote, and that's a vibration motor within the remote. What this does is it'll vibrate every time you turn it on, change speeds, and even when you get low on battery. The signal we're using on our new R2 remote is 2.4G wireless, and the whole PCB layout and componentry is different in this remote compared to our older GT remote. In fact, the antenna now is built within the circuit. We've also been working with a new antenna factory to help us fine-tune the performance to ensure we get a strong, reliable connection. The R2 remote is compatible with all V1 and V2 motor controllers, which is the majority of our GT range boards and One boards. If you're not sure about which version you've got, V1 or V2, just contact the distributor and they will be able to help you. So normally at this stage of the video, I would go out in the field and do the test riding. However, I think it'd be a better idea that we give some of our new remotes to some of our local community to hear what their thoughts are.
It's just so smooth, it's really smooth, so it just feels like you could give it to anyone, they'd be able to pick it up and ride at their own level. I really like the rumble that it's got in it, the response to what it's doing without having to look down.
The vibration control?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. It rumbles and vibrates back, so you know that when you press a button that it's heard you and it's changed the mode.
Feels really good. There's a nice weight behind the trigger, and the deadman switch makes it a lot safer. The old one had only a tiny little bit of travel between off and full speed. This one has, you know, almost just probably a centimetre and a half of travel between off and on, so it's really nice.
What's your favourite part about it?
Confidence.
Confidence.
Confidence. Yeah, absolutely. There's no guessing. Absolutely no guessing. You know exactly what it's going to do.
I went full trigger on GT before, and I just gradually, nicely build up on the speed and the braking as well. It's just so natural between switching the thumb, the trigger finger. It just makes sense. I think it's the ergonomics of it. It's just well done.
So the good news is any board sales from now will include the new R2 remote. If you're wanting to purchase the remote separately, we have a limited amount of pre-stock available, with more coming from mid-January. The other good news is we are offering the R2 remote at a heavily discounted price up until the end of February 2018. So this allows our existing customers to get the best deal possible. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you are as stoked as we are on this new remote. We will have a how-to video on how to use this bad boy very soon, so stay tuned for details. And if you want more information, go to our website and you'll be able to see all the remote information there.